Hello, welcome to another episode of Jiu Jitsu Therapy with Chris Mize. I am Chris Mize, coach at Heroes Martial Arts Academy and Gracie Jiu Jitsu of Birmingham. Joining me tonight for the second part of our Ladies Night podcast. We were saying Ladies Night. We were trying to come up with a cool name and didn't want it to sound weird. But anyway, I like Ladies Night. Ladies Night's all right. What do you think? Heroes, ladies, heroes?
Caitlin's idea.
Caitlin's idea. That can be Caitlin's idea, part two.
Ladies' night.
Oh, okay, ladies. Oh, yeah. So, okay, I was saying Caitlin's idea, ladies' night, part
Ladies'
two.
Night sounds pretty cool.
That's right. Ladies'
Also a
night
great
sounds-
song.
That's right. That's right. Cool in the Gang is one of my Pandora channels.
There you go.
Okay, so joining us, Laura, one of our blue belts. Caitlin, another one of our blue belts, and Amber, Coach Chris.
Very new.
Very new to jiu-jitsu, but also Coach Chris Bowen's wife, just to kind of put that in there. That's like jiu-jitsu by osmosis there, and
I wish it worked that way.
hey, you'll be surprised. And anyway, like I said, you're just exposed to it. You're not really a newbie. You have a lot more understanding of it now than a lot of folks just coming into it. But anyway, and Amber's also running the board tonight, so
Doing my best.
she's done an excellent job. So, we talked about some of the things on our last podcast, about getting started up on training and first experiences and stuff like that. So, some of the things we want to talk about tonight was one, would you recommend it to another lady to come in and try jiu-jitsu? I know it's such a niche thing anyway, because I could say, if somebody said, hey, Chris, would you recommend it to a guy? It would depend on that guy. Because some guys just don't have the temperament for it, too. So I know that's something that applies to everybody, but I'm very interested to get y'all's opinion on it. So, Laura, do you want to go first?
Sure. I do recommend it to some of my closest friends and things like that, but I agree with you. You do have to kind of be careful sometimes, because it is for everybody. Ideally, we like to say that, but there's times when it's not. Like people might not always stick with it, or I'm going to say she's more of an acquaintance, but she's a long-time acquaintance of mine that I went to school with. And she had messaged me and was very interested in coming and things like that, but she takes things deeply, deeply personal. And so she asked me about it. She said, do you think with me being, having so much anxiety about stuff like that and just really, I guess nihilistic is the word I'm looking for. So she really does. She thinks people always are out to get her. And she said, well, it would probably really bother me if somebody hurt me. And I said, well, it's incidental contact 9 times out of 10.
Right.
Nobody does it on purpose. And even then, probably 10 times out of 10, nobody does anything in there on purpose to try to hurt you. And they're not out to get you. Mm-hmm. So, and she said, well, I don't think I could really get over that. And I'm going, well, okay, maybe it's not for you. But
damn good judgment on your part. Holy shit, that was good.
I know. I was like, I tried to encourage, but also politely, in the undercurrent, try to discourage a little bit. Maybe it's not for you. Mm-hmm. And she's the one that's she's always up at this kid's school and that kind of stuff. And so I'm thinking, oh man, you're that parent. Wow. And they probably hate to see you coming, but anyway. But I recommend it. I've got a lot of friends that I really would love to see come in and join us, because they would really add to our family. They would be a big part of the family, and they would probably fit in very well. But sometimes they're kind of nervous. They're like, "But you're in there with a lot of guys," and I'm going, "No, but we've got some great ladies in there too. It's a lot of fun. It's a good crew. These are I think all the guys in there are like my brothers. So and the women in there are my sisters. So once they come in and try it, I really think they would stick with it. I really hope they would. But it is something I recommend to people that I think would be interested or want to learn self-defense, or really, some of them might have had some kind of frightening incident in the past or something like that. And I highly, highly recommend it for them, just to get some confidence back and to learn some very practical self-defense and some very real self-defense.
Right.
So.
Well, and even for the macho hotheads, it's humbling.
Yeah.
You learn real quick. You don't know half the shit you think you know. And every time you think you've got something, you don't.
No.
You don't.
You might, because they let you have it, but...
Right. Well, and I remember one of the first classes, I was off on the side rolling with my husband, and, he was kind of showing me something. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I was like, why would you do that? Your crotch is right there. I could just hammer down one good time. He's like, go ahead. Yeah, and so I just kind of went, softly, gently, and he did. I don't even remember what he did. I was like, okay, I'm sorry, won't do it again. I get it. Jiu-jitsu works.
Yeah.
So.
That's the best. Those are the best lessons.
I know, right?
Because they make a great impact.
And my thing too is, because I had, even though I've been subjected to a lot of martial art things, just through being with Chris. My thing has always been, well, can I use it in the real world?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, y'all rolling that heavy ass jacket. People don't have that in real life.
Pajama fighting.
But
right.
yeah, it first of all, people wear heavy jackets or thick shirts that could come into play. And I even we were talking one night about t-shirts. Could a t-shirt be used? And so it's, the clothes aren't something you'd see people wear. People don't walk around the streets wearing gis, but the principles are the same.
Yep.
So.
Caitlin, what about you?
Oh, I definitely recommend it to everyone who I try to come in contact with. But nobody ever takes me serious.
Well,
but I do recommend women do it.
I want to say I saw her probably a week before I had started, and she, was trying to get me, and she had no idea that I had been talking to Chris, that I had shown interest to him.
It's fun.
Oh, and then I showed up.
It is fun beating people's ass.
It is. It really is.
That's the quote. That's going to be the quote of the episode.
Definitely.
That's good.
I feel sorry for the people when I have a bad day at work, and I truly, when rolling, I don't show my anger, but I do take it out.
Yeah.
On my least favorite person at that gym. I'm not
that world.
I don't have a least favorite person, of course.
Yeah.
But it just feels good.
Yeah.
You don't even have to, know how to do it. Well, yeah, you do. But
Well, but you know what? You learn things, and it's like I said, it's a great outlet. I think that's why a lot of times why we do anything. It's a great outlet for us. Whether you like to paint, whether you like to go hit a golf ball, whatever you want to do, But yeah, I agree. That's funny. And I know you do. I know, but like I said, it's like you can invite people to the table, but they may not take you up on it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's best. But I think sometimes people's mindset about what they want and what people consider value too, it becomes a priority in your life if you're going to do anything. Anything, because it has to be worth, it has to be worth the process of getting there, doing it, and making time for it. That's a big investment. Of everything. Yeah. So I take all that very seriously when, with you guys. That's why when I always want to try to do my very best. And hopefully it comes across that I always want to try to share the best I can. And even if I don't feel good, I think that's the mark of I try to be a professional about it. Even if I don't feel good, I still want it to be, I still want it to be the very best that I can be. So, but yeah, I think everybody comes in, and it will change. It will transform your mood, though. If you get in there, if you're in a bad mood, you get in there and you start rolling around a little bit, and all of a sudden, you just forget about it.
Yeah.
So it is a good eraser. It erases some of the stress out of you.
Especially when you're around people that you like. You don't have to say
it's commonality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I like it. I love it.
Well, moving on into that. So benefits. So benefits of jiu-jitsu. So stress management's one, even though it causes stress to do it.
I would temporarily.
Yeah.
When you're flying through the air.
Yeah. That's right. So what do you guys think about some of the benefits of it? Other than,
I think the biggest one for me personally is, and of course it's not anything you get overnight, but the goal, the value of self-defense, of knowing that, if something happens, if somebody grabs me up, I stand a chance. So
yeah,
It's definitely helped me gain a better lifestyle and look at things differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I just never thought that I would look at things outside of jiu-jitsu the way I look at jiu-jitsu. It sounds kind of weird, but I mean, and it's really helped my lifestyle in eating, and I don't vape anymore. Because it wasn't benefiting my jiu-jitsu, and the fact that I want to do so many tournaments, I can't do tournaments if I'm in there breathing as if I'm having an asthma attack. So, I mean, it's really helped a lot in my personal life. And it's, I'm not scared when me and Jasmine are walking downtown Birmingham, leaving Club South. I know it's safe, but at night when we're leaving, I feel like 5 years ago I'd be looking left and right if somebody coming, and be scared just across the street. And now I still be looking left and right, but I'm not as scared.
Right, you've got more confidence.
Yeah. So it's a confidence builder.
Yeah, and I think with that also, that is, even though you feel it, the bad guys see it too. They know when you're, everybody always wants an easy meal. So if you're like, oh, that's not a good person to try to mess with.
Right.
That's a big piece.
I mean, right, and when it comes to arguments, you just learn to walk away from shit, because it's like, look, I can do something to you. So I mean, it really does help. It's helped with a lot of personal things with my family. It just a lot of stuff that I've walked away from. It's humbled me. I don't argue with people no more, not because I know I can do this or that, and because I probably can, but it makes you confident in yourself. So like, hey, if they do try something with you, at least you can defend yourself, and you ain't gotta talk. You don't have to. You don't gotta do all
It's
that
the
stuff.
quiet ones you gotta watch out for.
Yeah.
It's the quiet ones you gotta watch out for.
Right.
Yep.
It just really benefited me.
Well, I think what it is too, and I feel it too, because I was bullied as a kid and dealt with a lot of issues and stuff. Having that internal, I guess, confidence makes it where you don't, your insecurity doesn't come out. So you don't feel like you have to say anything immediately. You can listen more, I guess, to the situation and analyze the situation better.
Absolutely.
Because I think that's a big piece, and I think that's one part that people don't get. Some people people have different reasons for training. Some people like the chess game of jiu-jitsu. They like the strategy of it. Of course, like I said, the physical, and of course the beating of the ass is good too, as you said. But which is good. But
that could be another quote.
But everybody has their own reasons. But and I've talked about some of them before. There's a lot of peace of mind that you can get from training, because once you've had somebody on top of you smashing you, that sounds awful when you say that, but putting a lot of weight on you, and you figure out, how can I get out of this bad situation, and you're able to do it.
It's helped so much with my claustrophobia.
Oh God!
Having Robbie on top of me for 5 seconds used to just. I remember walking off the mat crying, because this heavy guy was on top of me for so long. I just couldn't breathe, and I had an anxiety attack. But now all you gotta do is control your. No, I'm not gonna say all you have to do, but
it's a step at a time, though.
Yeah, it is, and you just learning that control, and you learning to expand. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
It's like you're using your left part of your brain more with jiu-jitsu, or is it your right? Which one are we not using?
Yes.
Sure.
We're using both parts of the brain.
I'll say, and that's another thing for me. One of my excuses for so long for not starting jiu-jitsu is, don't touch my face. I don't like it. I don't want my face smushed. I don't want you in my little area. And which, again, I'm still very new. But it's been, again, there's close contact, but it's I'm so focused on what I'm doing, what my next move is, what they're doing, that, when my head is down and in somebody's chest or, nestled in under an armpit, whatever it is, my mind's not freaking out going, get the fuck away from my face. I can't breathe,
You don't feel like you're strangling?
I'm, like you said, I must be using a new part of my brain.
Right.
And I'm not panicked about it at all, and I've never, the sitting on me wasn't, it was the face thing.
Yeah.
But I've not had any, knock on wood, I've not had any problems with it. It's been great.
Wait till you get some sweat in your ear. Not yours.
Yeah.
Or your mouth.
It's coming.
Oh, or your teeth rub against somebody's like hairy arm.
Or when somebody
I had
doesn't wear a
braces
rash
when
guard.
I first started,
Stop it.
and Scott's arm just did that, and I went home and I just pulled a piece out.
Scott Wilbur.
No.
Scott
Scott
Hall.
Body, yes.
He's like
Hairless.
he's like a baby's
No,
butt.
well, he made his eye
On that one hair?
Yeah.
That's when he started shaving his whole body.
Yeah.
He didn't shave. I said, I thought you shaved all the time. He just laughed at me. He just covered his face and laughed. I'm like, dude, that's just
So
not
bad.
funny. It's not funny. It's gross.
There is nothing like somebody that won't wear a rash guard. No offense to Scott, because he shaves his whole body, but when somebody doesn't and they're super
It's so
hairy
smooth.
and they don't wear a rash guard, and like if along came Polly, I don't know if y'all ever seen that movie when his
Oh, yeah.
face brushes up against that sweaty man without his shirt on.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just like,
Right.
that's that sometimes.
That reminds me of one of my favorite movies, which nobody watches, has ever really, it's not everybody's favorite, but what was it, The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg,
yeah.
where the guy's sitting on the couch and he's like, I bet you think I'm hairy all over. He had a big beard, he says, clean, shaved clean, nothing past here. I love that movie, it's so crazy and off the wall. It's like Step Brothers.
We should send that to Scott.
That's right.
Totally.
But anyway.
I think it's a self-esteem thing too. I know for me personally, kind of springboarding off of what we've been talking about, like it is this set of confidence, this set of self-esteem that you gain. And I was like you, Chris. I was picked on really bad in school and in middle school. And my dad, he was pretty much single dad, and he raised us, me and my brothers, essentially by himself. And so I didn't like getting picked on. And I fought and did wrestling moves with my baby brother and my middle brother at home. So, and doing pile drivers off the couch and Walls of Jericho and watching the Undertaker and Goldberg and all that good stuff.
yeah.
DDP, I would try to do the Diamond Cutter, but that's what I grew up with though. But yeah, it helps. I find it makes me a better employee. Like I really do. I find it makes me a better person as far as just being a little bit giving with my time and I slow down and am more willing to like instruct people or help people or try to give really real advice and stuff like that when they ask. And I don't know, it just a whole overall improvement, I will say, as far as a person. And then I walk around, like Caitlin said, I walk down the street a lot more confident than I used to.
Well, damn, I tell you, I would want to do jiu-jitsu listening to you guys talking. That's good. I will say this, and let me see if I can say it correctly. I think as far as one thing that I see overall that with the ladies that train jiu-jitsu that do well with it, that it becomes part of their life like you guys, the component that I see that's kind of that magic or that X factor is why you're there. Because, I mean, if you go in for the right reasons, which is why you guys went to do it, I think, and that's what, and guys get that too. They get a feel like we're all on the same team. It's like we're on a team trying to do something. And you're not there to try to pick guys up or pick girls up. Or we're there just to, to do jiu-jitsu. And, everybody picks up on that. If you were worried about somebody just trying to pick you up every time you roll with them or something, it would make it uncomfortable if nothing else. But once you get to know people and you see how they really are, jiu-jitsu makes it where there aren't any secrets on the mat. It's kind of like you see how people are. You see them. You see people get worked over a little bit. See how they handle that. You see when they win, how do they handle that? Do they act like an asshole when they win? It's like, yes, suck it. Suck it. I mean, do they act bad? Or
do they teabag you when they
right?
go
Right.
Like,
you see how people are, and people are just I think you get to see how people really, their deep personal stuff. You can put a mask on, but all that kind of goes away once you've trained with somebody for a little while.
Yeah.
And I think the people who do the best are the ones that, like I said, they're there to train
Right.
and get better. And I think that male, female, it doesn't matter. You know, it's just you're there for a reason, and you pick up on that energy.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the family. Like I said, that's that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you guys would inspire me to train jiu-jitsu. I mean, if I, but it is such a thing. I mean, you never know. It affects every aspect of your life. Sometimes it feels not good. Sometimes because it is such a thing. It is a commitment, but I think it's well worth it.
It does help having a great family behind you. So it really, when you're in a good school like we are, and you're very fortunate that everybody's your friend. I mean, your friends. You really are. And like I've seen us, all of us at some point, I think have really gone through something in there before. Like have really had some personal issues that have kind of come to the front, or at one time needed help or needed just real honest advice, and friends behind us. And I can say it, heroes. Like we've all had that. Like when we've had personal things going on, I've had family members in the hospital or people that are sick, and I've had people that text and check on me and go, "Hey, is everything okay? Do you need anything? How's your grandma doing? How's your grandpa doing? Is everybody all right?" And we kind of rally around each other, and it's awesome. Like that's the camaraderie and the family that you find is irreplaceable. You can't put a price on that. Period.
Well, there is a warrior mentality part of it, and I think that's when you get in there and do that, and that's not to try to make it romanticize it or anything, but that's what it is. That's when people who come in there to train, to improve. That's what it is. It's a mindset of trying to. It's a warrior mindset. People who do that are there for that. And I think that's probably that you like that aspect of it too. I mean, it's what it is. I know you guys do, but I think that's one of the things that if you can embrace that, sometimes you have to know, why do I like it? You have to say, and then it's all of a sudden it's like, well, shit, it is worth it to do it because of just like I said, I did feel good, about it, and you do different things and you see the benefits of it. But anyway, guys, well, we're gonna call this one, and so this will be the end of part 2. I believe it or not, we have enough for a third episode, I believe,
with the ladies.
With the ladies, that's right. So tune in next week for part 3, and I can tell we're gonna need more lady involvement in the future of all episodes. But I enjoy the energy of this. But anyway, guys, until next week, have a good one.